Our focus standard for today's lesson comes from Grade 7, Geometry, Standard 2. Determine the conditions from 3 measures of angles or sides to create a unique triangle. Our topic comes from our Analyzing Geometry Relationships unit, Unique Triangles. Our essential question is, what measures must be known to determine if a triangle is unique? Please take a moment pausing the video if you need to, copy down the topic and essential question into your header along with today's date, set up your question column and your note column, and resume the video when you're ready to begin. Before we jump right into talking about the measurements of the triangles, here's some important background. Unique triangle is defined as measurements specified create exactly one triangle. Congruent is defined as exactly equal in measure. There is one more important piece of background information. Order matters. Once again, we see that the order in which we are writing something definitely communicates our ideas. So in the sequence that the letters are written, that determines the sequence of the measurements location on the triangle. Please make sure to have this information copied in as you will want to refer back to it. And let's dive into the measurement conditions. Below the background information, I'd like you to create a table like this. 3 columns, and these are the suggested widths, where we can name the conditions, the definition of those conditions, and the diagram to help us picture what is being defined. Please pause the video to create your table and resume when you're ready to start filling it in. These are known as the 4 conditions for triangle measurements to help us determine if they are unique triangles. Let's take each one in turn to define it and draw a diagram. This first one, SSS, stands for side, side, side. It's defined as the length of all 3 sides. We don't know if all 3 sides are under this condition. It could mean that all 3 sides are exactly equal in measure, creating an equilateral triangle. Maybe only 2 of them are equal in measure, or maybe none of them are. But if a person or in a problem we are given 3 side measurements and told that it makes a triangle and we know that it fits the triangle inequality theorem discussed in our last video, then there's only one unique triangle that could be made. Let's take a look. So here, if we look and we're given 3 specific side measurements, and we're told what those measurements are, then there's going to only be one unique way, especially since order matters, and this is listing the order that the pieces are put together in sequential order around, then there's going to be only one way we can put that together. So that is one condition, side, 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 that will create a unique triangle. The second one is side, angle, side. It is defined as the length of 2 sides and the angle they form between them. This is also known as the included angle. Once again, order matters. So we're given the 2 sides and the angle that is between them. So the 2 sides that form this angle. Let's take a look. Here's what the information is that we'd be given. We're going to put it in solid black lines, so we would know this side length, the angle measurement that creates the other side of that angle. So side, angle, side, they're all adjacent to one another. And we can say that this angle is the included angle between these 2 sides. So if we think about this carefully, if we know these exact measurements, there's only one way to connect those lines to form a triangle. It would have to be a very specific measurement because that gap can only be so wide between these 2 set lengths at a particular angle. The third condition is angle, side, angle. It is defined as 2 angle measurements and the side length between them. So once again, this particular side length could also be described as the included side. So once again, let's take a look at what that would mean. So we were being given the angle, the side, and the angle measurements of a triangle. So once again, I've used solid black lines to show the information that we're being given. So if we're given this angle measurement, the side length between that angle and the next angle, so angle, side, angle, we can imagine I use dotted arrows. So if this measurement's set in place, we're going to use our protractor and extend a line outward, and I've used an arrow here to show that when we draw this angle, we don't know that side length, they didn't give it to us. And same thing here. So we measure with our protractor this exact distance off this exact side length from the other edge. Use our pencil to extend that line out, and we can see that they're always going to intersect at one specific spot because the two angles are locked in as well as how far apart they are. So once again, on this third condition, angle, side, angle, angle, side, angle, this would be enough information to create one unique triangle. Our last condition is angle, angle, side. It is defined as two angle measurements and the length of the side opposite of the first angle. So what's that look like? So we know they're giving us one angle measurement. So I've included just the angle arc in solid black. So we would extend these two lines, we draw a couple lines, but we wouldn't be knowing their precise measurement. But we leave those two lines to create this exact angle measurement that we're being given. And then we're asked to create another angle. So before you draw this next piece in, again, you should be completing your table as we go. Hold on until we discuss it just a little bit more, so you can decide exactly how you want to draw it into your notes. So we talked about this first angle, and here they've given us the adjacent angle, so from this angle to the next angle, and one specific side length. Angle, angle, side, angle, angle, side. So again, solid black are the only measurements that are locked in place. And so if we think about trying to make a triangle with this information, I'm going to go ahead and move this piece and see. So right here, if we were to extend it like this, we could imagine those as one line, like joining together to make one line so that they are adjacent angles. But this would be too far of a distance for them to be apart for this to be able to meet up again. Remember, this one's locked in place, and if this angle is locked in place and it's obtuse, those would never meet. So we know this distance has to be closer. I'm going to keep moving it. You can see that dotted line so they all connect up, and it looks like it did that right there. So that is the exact spot where I can have two adjacent angles that are locked into place and an exact distance side that is opposite of that first angle. There's only one way to make that triangle. Give an angle, two adjacent angles, and the opposite side length. So once again, this is our fourth condition, that if we're given two adjacent angle measurements and a side opposite of that first angle, we will be able to know exactly what triangle they're talking about because it will only create one unique triangle. So these are the four conditions. Before we wrap up this video, let's look at one example problem and how we might apply these conditions. Rudabeh was building a corner shelf. She knows she wants the shelf to be 24 inches wide and hit the wall at a 45-degree angle on both sides of the shelf. How many ways can she put up the shelf? Include a sketch to support your answer. So think about that for a moment, and I always even if it's not the directions, I highly suggest you make a sketch to make sure you are picturing what the problem is asking. So your sketch might look something like this. Even better if you have it labeled. We know that she is putting in a shelf into the corner of her wall, so she has the shelf and it is 24 inches. So this would be 24 right here, that distance. and we know the angle measurement that she wants is 45. So whether I fill this information in or not, but again, it's always best to be precise, can you tell how many ways she could put it up? Are there lots of different triangles we can make? Or is there one, or will it make one at all? Well, notice, again, using that solid black lines for information we know, and I've labeled it all here, we're being given the angle. So I just like to look at it from left to right and see what I'm being given. The angle, the side, and the next angle. So I'm being given angle, side, angle. Is that one of our 4 conditions? Yeah, angle, side, angle is one of our 4 conditions, but if given this information, we know that there would only be one way Rubik could hang the shelf. And we would state that it's because it meets the angle, side, angle condition for a unique triangle. That concludes our video for today.